Hello, welcome back to Algebra. We're continuing our lessons on how to add polynomials. And just like we did in the last lesson, we're just going to go term by term looking for matching variables with the same exact matching exponents. And only under those conditions can we add the coefficients together to get a simplified form. So we're going to be doing exactly what we did in the last section, only increasing the complexity of the problems a little bit to give you more practice. So for the first one, let's say we had 5x cubed minus 2x plus 1, and we're going to subtract from that x squared plus 2x minus 2. So again, we don't really need the parentheses around this. I'm just grouping it, showing you here's a trinomial, and we're subtracting them. And then whenever you actually drop the parentheses, of course, you have a minus 1 out here. This is a sort of an implied negative 1, which has to be multiplied into every term there. So in the next step, we're going to rewrite this. This doesn't change at all. We'll have 5x cubed minus 2x plus 1. And then negative 1 times the x squared gives you negative x squared. Negative 1 times this gives you negative 2x. And the negative 1 times the negative 2 gives you positive 2. Negative times negative gives you positive. So then the next thing you want to do is start looking for terms, and you start with the highest power of x. So we're looking for right now any terms with x cubed. I'll put a dot under the terms to help me remember what I've actually looked at. So here we have an x cubed. I don't have any other x cubes in my answer, so I just write this down as 5x cubed, right? And then the next thing I'll start looking for is any terms with x squared. And I have a term with an x squared, but it's the only one, so I can't add it to anything. So it's negative x squared will just come along for the ride. And then I start looking for terms of x. So here I have a negative 2x, and here I have also a negative 2x. So I can add those together because the variable is the same and the exponent is also the same. So negative 2 plus a negative 2 gives you negative 4x. And then after that, you have the 1 plus the 2. That's the only thing left. See, my dots help me figure out what I've already looked at. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So I'm sorry, 1 plus 2 is 3. Plus 3 here. So the answer is 5x cubed minus x squared minus 4x plus 3, and that's the final answer. And generally you want to write it in descending values of powers of x. So here's the x cubed, the x squared, the x to the first, and then your constant, you just put it off at the end. So every single problem we are going to do in this lesson will be basically done exactly as we have done this one. It's just that you have to be a little careful not to make mistakes when adding like terms. So for the next problem, what if we had 3x squared minus 2 times x times y plus 4y squared, and we're going to close that off, and then we'll add to that 2x squared plus 3y squared. So here's a trinomial plus a binomial. Now don't let that bother you. If you have a trinomial, which means you have 3 terms, and you're adding it or subtracting it to a binomial which has 2 terms, it's okay. You just need to look for matching terms to do the addition. And if you have matching terms, then you can add them, and if you don't, then you can't. So since we have a positive here, it's really going to be a positive 1 distributed in, which means basically no change, so we can just rewrite the problem over without the parentheses at all. 3x squared minus 2xy plus 4y squared plus, now it's positive 1 going in here, so we have 2x squared, positive 1 going in here, multiplied, which gives you 3y squared. So the reason I like to rewrite it again is so that I can make sure and catch myself if I need to distribute a negative in, and also because I don't like to mark up the original problem. I want to have that clean on my paper without any issues. So now what I will do is look for the highest power